Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to this W3 Schools website and go down to, there should be something that says pseudo, um, yeah, pseudo classes. There it is. So when you go down here, this third box here is this anchor pseudo classes, and it has this little A colon link visited hover and active. I'm just going to copy that whole thing and go back to my website so I can see it right away. Just add edit CSS, and I'm going to add this at the top of the style sheet so it's easier. I just paste it in, and immediately I replace my awesome blue and purple with this red and green Christmas color and with magenta. Um,
Where did you paste
I just pasted it in the top. It doesn't matter where it goes.
it? I can just paste it in the text and
You can yeah, and then you save and refresh it. And still allow us to see a little bit.
Where
Um,
do you just paste it anywhere?
they pretty much. You gonna
Doesn't
text me?
matter where.
It doesn't matter the order. They just can't be within another element. Does that make sense? So I'm just
Which PHP?
in your style sheet.
Oh, it's that.
Yeah, this is for the links.
I tried something, or I wrote for it last night, and they told the one I found said to put it within a style type within header, and it kind of does the same thing. But should we be putting all of this stuff in like CSS style sheets?
Yeah. So the way I showed it before was that we just show the relationship between the header and the body and the style sheet. I did do it in the style header. Um, the way that a WordPress works is that it reads the styles off a style sheet and is cleaner because then you leave your header without, the style sheets can get huge. So it's better if it's in its own file. And also, when you need to make a change, you don't have to go to find your header and edit that. You look for your style sheet and change that. So if we look here, I just pasted in 4 new styles into my style sheet, and these fall under the category of pseudo classes. And I'll kind of explain what that is. First, we see something that's familiar. We see the A, which, if you remember from HTML, the A tags are links. So that says that this is going to apply only to your links, and it's regardless of ID or class that you give it. Every link will be affected by this. But then we see this colon here, and after the colon, it either says link, visited, hover, or active, and these are specific to links. But you'll need all 4 of these. Also, it's important to note that the order of this is the only time that order in CSS actually comes into effect, is when you're styling links. They have to be in this order. If they're out of order, it can break. So always have link, visited, hover, and then last is active, from top to bottom. And so you can see right now we've just changed the colors. So when we hover, we see that this color comes into effect. And this just rolling over is called hovering. Images that I've already visited will be affected by the second one, which is this A colon visited. Unvisited links will be this color, which is the green, and active links, which are when you click them, and I'm just clicking and holding right now, that's what that is. That's what active means. So let's get rid of the underlines. So I know on my unvisited links I don't want underlines because the color will be enough. So we go to text decoration and say none. And also my visited, None. When I add that one, I guess the green ones are my visited links. I get the underlines disappear for all of them. Now, say I kind of like the underlines sometimes, but I like my underlines just to pop up when I roll over. So when I hover over them, I like to see my underlines. So I'm just going to add that here. Text decoration, underline. Oops. And then now when I roll over, I see the underline pops back up. So, I mean, in most of my websites, actually, though, I like to have a color for my links, and I like to have a different color for the rollovers, so you know that when you're rolling over that it's a link. But I don't really care about having, if my visitors know whether it's a followed link or if they're clicking it. That really doesn't make a difference to me, so I'm just going to consolidate these, and I'm going to copy this element. Just add that. So I've made it so this link and the visited will be the same code, and I'm just going to delete this visited. Same with active and hover. Oops. I'm going to change the color. Make it. And then on the hover, I want to make it black. So we're already getting a little more architecty here. We've lost the color, and everything's gray and black. You can also do other things, like I've in past said when I hover it, I want to change the font weight to heavy. What is it? Can never remember what this is. Nope. Actually, what am I going to do? Oh, I just lost it. Anyway, so does that answer your question? And you can add any kind of styles that you want to any one of those pseudo classes, and just play around with it. Just keep the order in the same. Just keep them in the same order that they show up on this W3 schools page, and you should be pretty good.
Text decoration is for
Text decoration. Okay. Let's see what the problem is. So you can see I don't bother memorizing it because it's much faster to just copy and paste it. Secrets. Make sure that you have all your semicolons after each line. That can make a difference. So it's working for me. Let me just take a look. Add it to your visited also. Save that. So it was just the one you weren't expecting. Is yours still not working? Oh, so this is why, because you have this text decoration is outside of the curly bracket. So just cut that and then put it, yeah, right in there. There you go. So yeah, just make sure that your decorations, your styles are actually inside the braces.
Why did you get rid of the book?
On the lists,
Yeah.
you don't like them? Um, Down here, I've done that. So just what I do for a lot of projects is right off the bat is do ul comma li, which so I'm just targeting the unordered lists and the lists, and change the list style to none. Now that leaves it indented still, which can kind of mess with your styles. Uh, just change the padding and the margin to 0, and it should pop it over to the left. That work?
Yeah.
Better? So there are a lot of, so it's just a general note with some CSS that I've found. There are a lot of little quirks that can happen. There are little spaces that are automatic that, and each browser is a little different because like one browser, Firefox will say automatically, like I haven't defined a margin, but there's a little margin or padding here between the window edge and my content on the left and also on the top. And in Explorer or Safari or Chrome, those might be a little different. And if those pixels matter, sometimes, a lot of times they matter, it's good to get to refresh your browser, refresh all the CSS styles. And there's something I use, which actually WordPress started using. I'm going to go, oops, check out. So I'm navigating right now to my themes folder, and I'm going to look at the 2010 style sheet. So when I go to the 2010 theme, I go down to style.css, open it. The very first ones here, it says comment. It's this reset default browser CSS based on, and then it gives the source. And you could go there and you could copy it there, but I'm just gonna copy it straight out of this style sheet. Now what this does, it'll actually probably make things look a lot better just as is. So notice here I've got like these default border around the images, and there are funny spaces some places. If I just copy and paste this reset browser stuff in, it will make it all the text sizes. It'll get rid of all the borders, all the weird margins and padding, just automatically. Now it looks kind of funny by itself, so you have to you do want to go in there and change these things, but this is a good place to kind of start for just getting rid of these things. I just copied it out of the style sheet for,
What's it called?
let's see, it's reset browser CSS. I think Eric Meyer, it's an Eric Meyer thing. I don't know who Eric Meyer is, but so this is inside the 2010 theme. So let me go to this website. This is not the only one that you'll be able to find that's like this, a CSS reset. There are a lot of different ones, and I think he probably will say that you're supposed to change it to what you need. Yeah, so he says, I don't particularly recommend that you use this in an unaltered state in your own projects, which should be tweaked, edited, and extended. But it's a good, I usually just copy and paste this when I'm first starting, and then change things as I need to. It gets rid of the bullets, gets rid of the numbers and ordered lists.
So all of it?
Yeah. So if I go to this, I just will copy and paste this whole thing to my style sheet. So you see it gets rid of all those margins and things. So then you kind of have a fresh palette. I didn't search for anything. Sorry. I found it in the theme, yeah. But if you search for CSS reset, you'll find a bunch of different ones. And the first hit is actually the one that I was just at, I think. Yeah. Okay. Were those helpful?
I have a general question. Like, when we were, I can't remember what it was we were doing, but we looked at the pseudo classes on the free school site. How did you know to look for pseudo class? Like,
I just knew. Well, also, I think when the first time years ago when I came across this, I think I just Googled it and I was like, different colored links CSS, and this is what I do if I don't know what I'm looking for. I just say, how do I ask this question? And then probably the first one will be a good tutorial, or the second one. So I'm pretty sure that's what I did, and I probably came across pseudo class, and then I was able to find it on this W3 CSS. Okay, so are we good to go back to the images for now? Anyone else have any CSS questions they want to ask? I think I've got everything ironed out. So it's not super important why, but just suffice it to say that my code wasn't getting some of the information that it needed, and so it didn't know which images to give me. But now I've changed that. I'm going to give you the updated code, the updated theme, so you can update your functions file, and you'll have a working copy. Okay, so back in my index here, and remember my index page is what affects my my first WordPress page. I've added in this make image array. I'm going to change this. I've added this host ID. Add this here. Would it be helpful if I gave everybody the updated functions now? Yeah. Can I email it to you if I email it to the list? Okay, I'm going to just email the entire file. Don't have Safari open. We'll take a minute and have everyone copy over the new file. Yeah.
In the sidebar,
Mm-hmm.
your name or website name is going to be the same as the link, so it's going to be the same style as well. Is there a way to override?
Yeah. So we'll take a minute for the email to get to everybody, but let me show you how to do this, how to change your link. So first you have to identify where that this is coming from, and in this case, I've got it in the sidebar. So in the sidebar, I've got this div called header. Inside the header, I have the link, and it links to home, and then the text is going to be given by this blog info name, right, which is this little chunk of PHP. So if I wanted to, I'm just going to try this and get rid of the link itself, get rid of the A tag. Or refresh it. Nope. Oh. Is it working to start with? Nope. Because I changed this. So if I just get rid of this, and I'm going to change it to an H1. I've changed it there. The problem is now, so when I click on one of these, then it's more difficult to get back. So we can update it as an image, or we can actually make it a different kind of link. Why don't we do that in a bit? I'll show you how to do that. Because I want to continue on with this other stuff first. Let's give it back. Okay, so I've got my first step here. I'm printing out all the image URLs, but they're not displaying. So in my index, I have my little array, which is echoing all the images. So what I'm going to do, instead of just echoing it, I'm going to also echo it into an image tag. So I'm going to say, start writing some HTML. Image source equals so I added this little piece of line, these little things into my echo. I'm sorry?
So you didn't send us this file, you sent us the function.
Correct. I updated the functions, and you'll have to add the this individually. If you want to take some time to do that, I can give you some time.
This is the index of 2010.
No, this is the index of the ultra lightweight.
So we should replace our functions with what you just emailed.
Correct, yeah. It just has 2 lines are different. Yeah, so the backslashes, that's a really good question. The reason why I need those is if I'm writing an image tag, right? I'm going to write one down here. Image source. You don't need to write this one, but this is just to remind you what it looks like. Some foo.jpg. So that's what an image tag looks like. HTML image tag looks like. Now it has. You can see that it has these quotation marks with the single or the double quotation marks. But when I put them here, it in the PHP, it thinks that the quotation marks mean demarcate the beginning or the end of a string, or a word or a sentence. So in order to say no, that quotation mark is actually part of the string, I have to put this slash in it before the quotation mark, and it won't get printed, but it'll just tell PHP to write that as a character instead of interpret it as the beginning or end of a string. If I take that away, then I see my colors get all messed up and I know something's wrong. Let me see. Let me take a look at yours real quick.
Or I don't think it is. Oh, maybe it is. It's just huge.
Yeah.
Like all my stuff's right there. I just made it small so it fits.
Okay, so the image that is working. It's just going slow. That's another reason why it looks like your image is really big. That's one reason why you don't want to make it super big, because when you get to automatically resizing it, if they're too big, it can hang. What I've done there is I've just kind of started commenting things out to figure out where it is. So I know that the problem is in here somewhere. Oh, it's Tim Thumb, not Tim Thumb.
Yeah, like the text.
Okay. So that line's working. I'm not exactly sure what the problem was. I think it's
Yeah, it's just that the images. Well, I think it's right. Because like my images are.
oh,
Some
it's
of them are
this
super
mark here.
big, and then I think it depends on the actual size they are. I know. Well, see, then I get down, like, those three are all the same, and this one's smaller.
Okay, so that's what it was. It was just
Because I think they're, like,
the function
different
was handled
sizes.
incorrectly. Anyone else
I don't know
problems?
if that's. So are your images becoming that, like, real size? Or
Yes, then because we haven't sized them. We haven't said any to do
Okay.
anything with them.
But it should just spit out a little bit.
It should actually
Gallery.
make the image right now, so it should print it out.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So then it's
But it's
working.
not doing it. Whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're just making images. Okay. Where's your?
Can you please send me the index file? Because for some reason
Take out
I
this
don't
image.
have all the
We're not actually using
at the
this.
beginning.
That was just a remind you what. Here, save that. Let's see if that.
What's your address?
MN
Computer's a little slow right now.
So right here, it's going to tell us where the progress is. Oh, and this is why.
The
So you
index
have
file
this single quote
Yeah.
here, and it should be closed by another single quote. So if we change that there, they just need. They
That one was done to that. Okay.
Yeah, and then that one's okay, but it's been just better to keep them all the same. So, but we'll just leave it for now.
That should have gone through.
Okay. Thanks.
I like the heaviness. It's got like a really soft clip. Oh, okay, so this is one thing we're missing. This and this closed bracket. Should have been a problem. Oh, there we go.
It has all the these on the like on the home page, but only where the posted is not there.
Yeah, and I'll go over that in just a second. So for now, right now, we're going to make this work the way we want it to on the home page. We don't have a lot of time right now. We can get back to this later, but let's let me just make sure verify that this works for me. Okay, so I've got a buttload of these things, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to manually scale it using this. So I'm going to add the width attribute. And let's just say width equals 150. Oops. Okay, yeah, sorry. I go too fast. Look, so I just added inside the image tag, I'm just writing in width equals 150. So you can see here it's forced them all to be 150 pixels wide. They're different heights because it's forcing them to that proportion. Also, I can see that now on my other posts that I manually placed images in the editing window, that it's showing up twice. So that means I have to go back, go to my posts. I'm going to edit. I know that this was happening to my Sulk, and if I go to the visual, I see that my image is there. I'm just going to delete that because I'm doing them all automatically, and then just update it. So there. Go ahead.
Should it be that slow if I think my images are all under a meg? Is that still kind of big? Or
It also depends on the pixel dimensions too. So If it's like
Under
three,
900.
yeah, if it's like 3,000 by 3,000, it's still going to be small, or I mean, still going to be slow. So I'll show you some strategies for that too. So this is still kind of a problem because I manually I said I'm forcing it into the dimensions 150 wide, which means that it's not, this image isn't actually 150 pixels wide. It's still the same image, and I know that because when I right click on it and I hit view image, I can see it's still the same image. It's downloading all those extra pixels even though I'm never seeing them. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. How do we get around that? How do we make them the most efficient it can be for the web and for your viewers? So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go pretty quickly into plugins, and we're just going to download a plugin that's available from WordPress, the WordPress website, and we're going to apply it to these images to give us a really easy to use lightbox. So first step, I'm going to go to open up a new browser tab and go to wordpress.org. This will be the last thing we do. And if you go here, you see this menu button called Extend, and under Extend there are plugins, themes, and this is new mobile. This is brand new, so I don't even know what that is. But go to Plugins, and it says here that there are, over 12,000 plugins. So there are going to be a lot of duplicates, and there are a lot of good ones and a lot of bad ones. But we'll try and figure out one. So I'm just going to type in Lightbox because I know I want to make my images pop up in a little thing. And what do I come up with? I come up with Lightbox Gallery, Simple Lightbox, jQuery Lightbox. And they all have ratings. Now this is something to pay attention to because if something has a really poor rating, and it's best to maybe not use it. Anything like 4 stars or above is usually pretty good. You also have to take into account how many downloads it has and also how many people have rated it. So it's just like anything else when you buy something from Amazon or whatever. Just weigh your options. So I'm going to choose this WP jQuery Lightbox, and that's only because I've used it before, and it should be pretty easy. And it gives you a little bit of information in the description about what it does. And I can see that it has 14 ratings. I'm going to go to installation, and it'll tell me. So it says upload their file to your content plugins. It says activate it through the plugins menu, and then check, and then it says how to use. So first things first, I found the one I want to use. I'm just going to go back to my dashboard for my website for WordPress. I'm not going to do anything else right now. Go back to the dashboard, and then down underneath Appearance on the left, on the menu on the left, Plugins. I'm just going to hit the Plugins button, and I see that I've got those 2 plugins that I showed you in the plugin folder before, which are not activated because they're gray. You can see they're not inactive because they're gray. I'm going to go into this search. I'm going to hit this Install Plugins at the top. Takes me to the Install Plugin window, and I'm just going to search Lightbox again. And I could have actually gone here to start with, but it's a little easier to see on the WordPress site. Go down here and find my WP jQuery Lightbox that I did some research on, and then just hit Install Now. And just make sure that you want to do it. It goes through a short installation, and then I'm just going to hit Activate Plugin. Takes me right back to my list of plugins, and I see right here it's on a white box now showing me that it's activated. And we're good to go. Or it's working. Hit Settings. Oops. Okay, so instead of Settings, which didn't work for some reason, I had to go to the settings box, and then at the bottom it shows jQuery Lightbox. And at the very top it gives me a couple different options. It says let the plugin add necessary HTML to image links. I want to uncheck that. Shrink large images to fit smaller screens. I'm going to leave that checked for now because I know I have some giant images that don't fit on the screen, and I want to do that automatically. In the future, when I show you how to size the images, we're going to uncheck that, but we'll leave that checked for now. Animation speed, so basically the faster it is, the faster it grows, and the slower it is, it'll go really slow if you want it to. Now the thing that we're interested in is how to use, and it'll automatically generate code for you and make a gallery if you want. You can just copy and paste these brackets with gallery link equals file into your post, and it will automatically make a gallery for you with a lightbox. But what we want to do is we actually just want to do it programmatically, which is why we're in the code anyway, and it's really easy. They say all you have to do is add this attribute to your image tag, which is rel or relation lightbox. So I'm just going to copy that and go back to my source, go to my index page, and I'm going to go, so right after where we just added the width equals 150, I'm going to add a space after 150, and I'm just going to paste in rel equals lightbox in quotation marks. So that's all I've done, just added a space and pasted. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to go back to my website and refresh it. And nothing happens, and that's okay. So the reason nothing happened was because in order for a lightbox to work, it needs, or for one of these actions to work, it needs to be a link, because you need to be able to click on it. So let's add the code to make it a link. ahref equals, I'm going to leave the address blank, so because we don't want it to point anywhere. I'm going to add something there in a second, but then I'm going to close off this a tag. Is that okay for people? Does that make sense why we're doing that? And let me go, before I save that, I'll go back and show you why. So I'm going to go back into Firefox before I save it. Now I've already loaded, this has the code. If I look at the element, I see that it does have this relation lightbox. REL equals lightbox. But it's not doing what I expect it to do, because I want to be able to click this and get a lightbox. But the browser has no idea that when I'm hovering over it, I'm supposed to be able to click on it. So it's just ignoring everything that I'm doing. So in order for it to know that I want to be able to click on it, I have to make it a link. It doesn't? So I've made this a link, but it's probably because we've left the address field blank, and it doesn't know what to do. It says it wants to go somewhere, but it doesn't know where, so I'm just going to fill that with a hash, which says make it a link, but don't go anywhere. So I'm going to refresh that. I get the outline showing me that it's the link. Now when I click on it, okay. Let's make sure here. Oh, this is ridiculous. So I read through the instructions real quick, and you see that the rel is not inside the image tag, it's inside the link tag itself. So I'm just going to keep that link there, and I'm going to cut this rel lightbox and add it inside my a tag. Has everyone got that? So I'm just moving the relation attribute. So I'm adding it inside the a tag.
did it before for some reason.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
So now if I save that and refresh it, if you have larger images, it's going to take a while.
Can you show us tomorrow how to do like a lightbox with one image showing and then you click on it and then you get a gallery like that?
That show all of them? Or just you can go from one to the next?
You can go from one to the next.
So it has like little arrows on the side. Yeah. And this will have that built in. Why isn't mine working?
Mine's just loading.
Okay. So if I had done a little bit of reading, I have to actually link to the image. Pardon me. This is... So here I'm going to copy my image source. So I'm going to copy everything from... Let me redo this. So I have to have this image GUID in there. And this has to also have the quotes. And that's not right because that's there. Can everyone see that? Let me make it a little bigger.
You got an apostrophe?
So what I've done is I've taken this exact same code that I have that's displaying the image, which is the link to the image, and I'm adding it in the A tag as the address to point to for the image, for the link.
So the arrows do work.
Mm-hmm. But they'll take you to every single one on the page right now.
Can you just
Let me make sure that this works real quick. Why isn't this going? So yours is working?
But yeah, it still takes you to every image that you
Yeah.
posted.
And there's an easy way to fix that. There we go. So you can see here, now it's taking me to every single page. Is yours not working?
Yeah, I think I'm sure it's just me. So that's blank now, and then I just put image.
Oh, you need the forward slash right before that first quotation mark. No, I think the other one, sorry. The other slash
Oh, where do you want it?
in the for that one.
Oh, I don't have it.
Something's funny. Oh, and that one, that second one there needs to be a single quote to match up with that.
Can you do that?
Yeah, sorry. It's much more helpful.
Wait, which? Oh. Like that.
Yeah, and now I see you're getting the colors, and then there's something wrong over here. Oh, you need the quotation mark over here. No, behind the period. And then you need yeah, that looks right. Something's wrong. Let me see. Can I see it? Okay. So your image here, right there. You have it.
Yeah.
You need the variable the same as up here.
So $1.
which is the same right there. So if I save that. Oh. Do you have images loaded? Well, let me do this. I'll work with you in a minute. Okay, are other people still having problems? We'll do one last thing, and then we'll call it a day. So the problem was that you've noticed. So now I have this lightbox working, but it's taking me instead to every single image on the page. So, and I don't want that because if I'm in a lightbox, I want it to just be on a per project basis. So if I look at this documentation here, it says on number 3, if you have a set of related images that you'd like to group, follow step 1, but additionally include a group name in the rel attribute. So we do that by adding these little square brackets and then something unique about that project. So let's do that. So I'm back in the index file, and I know that I want to change this lightbox. I need to add those square brackets, so I'm going to do that right now. And I need to add something in there. But if I just add a number or any text, it'll be the same. I need it to be unique to the post. So I'm going to add those quotation marks because I need to put something with PHP in there. Add periods because I'm concatenating, or I'm adding on strings. And I'm going to say, I'm going to add in the post ID. So post ID. And the post ID is always unique, so you don't have to worry about them overlapping or being the same. I'm just going to save that. So everyone have that? Again, be very sure that you're balancing your quotation marks, not only front to back, but that you have the singles and the doubles the same. And this can get really confusing really fast because when you're dealing with these sorts of things, it can be hard to pick out what's wrong if something does go wrong. It does? Okay, let me see. Let me double check this, refresh. So mine is working because now it says only 4. So I go 4 here, 2, 3, 4, and then it should go back to the first one. Now if I go down here, I should only have 1 image. None. Let me check it.
Oh no, yeah, it's going in a loop. It's going in a loop, yeah.
Okay.
Or I mean, it's just the one.
It's recycling.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what threw me.
Okay. So there, I mean, that's where we'll end, but that's just a really easy way to incorporate a plugin. Now we didn't have to write any of the jQuery or the AJAX that is needed for the lightbox to happen. It just comes for free because someone else wrote it and made it available. So if you have any sort of functionality like that you need, it can pay off big time to just search for it beforehand and implement it. And as you can see, you do have to pay attention to how these things, how you what kind of syntax they require. But it's nice that it just kind of plug and play and works. Except for time.
Can you put the code back up?
Yep.
Thanks.
I found one mistake.
Okay.
There, this was missing.
Wait, there's an enter. There's a carriage return, so that should.
Spaces don't make differences.
Not necessarily. Can I see something? I'll show you how to troubleshoot something like this. So this happens all the time. I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to look at the source. I'm going to try and find where the images should be. In this case, and there, so there are the links, right? Is that right? Oh no, that's the sidebar. Image gallery. So this image gallery is where the ING should. So we know this is so that's actually yeah, no problem. Something called here. That's this post ID. You get that. And then there's this instead of underline, it's a dash. There we go. So that's all it was.
So now if I click on one of those, it starts to make the light box. With arrows.
So since you have so now it's confined to control.
Yeah.
Are these really large images?
This one's really big, and the one before is starting to just
No, that's
that one's super, and these are all the same size. So they're all big images.
I'll show you how to
Yeah, I can just you just need it wouldn't be better.
it's a PHP script called TimThumb, which is why this is called make TimThumb.
So you have to just reset them with Photoshop.
This way it'll be more flexible because if you want to change one, say you have one profile thing or one theme that you're like, oh, I just want tiny images, and then a year later you're like, what was I thinking? I want giant images. You just change one number and then it will automatically resize all of them while saving your visual.
Where is it pulling these images from?
The ones you uploaded?
Well, so I uploaded some,
Yeah.
and then we used the code instead, right? Instead of like just the link.
Yeah.
So then where is it?
Where's it getting that code?
Like it's only the ones that I had posted because
Yes.
I posted it earlier.
Yeah. And it's only pulling the ones you have to upload them to. It only will show you the ones you've uploaded to the post. Now, let me show you something. This will be a secret for you guys who hung out. That I've added into this code that pulls the images. So say you want to upload a bunch of projects right at once, or you've uploaded a ton of images. You just dump them all because it's right after your final review, and you don't want to think about editing your images. But you realize that there was this rendering that just wasn't finished, and I uploaded it, and I don't want people to see it, but I don't want to delete it either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my posts, and let me look at this. So I'm going to say, look at this one. This drawing is like super light. I don't want this one to represent me, but I don't want to delete it like I said. So I'm going to go to My Drawings, and I'm going to edit this post. I'm going to go click on this Add an Image, and hit Gallery. So here I see all my images, and I see this one, and this is really enraging. So I'm gonna make sure no one sees it. So I'm gonna make it add this 100 next to it. When I do that, actually, let me just drag this. So if I can click and drag these in different orders, and it will automatically say 1, 2, 3, 4, or as many as you have. And I'm gonna change this to 100. Anything above 99 actually will work. So I'm going to hit Save Changes. I'm just going to exit out of that. And now when I reload it, it didn't work. Okay, well, I'll have to look into that. I thought I added that. But the thing that I did add was, say, it's important which one I want to have first. So I want this picture of the back to be first, and I want the foot to be second, and then the guy sitting in the chair, and then the really light one. So I've changed the order here. I can verify that they're in 1, 2, 3, 4. I hit Save Change. Then I go back and refresh, and then it spits it out back in the order that I want. So that just is the way I wrote that code.
When I click on the sidebar, the text on the side,
Mm-hmm.
the images disappear when I go to like this one project.
Sorry. Yeah. So what you'd have to do to fix that is take this code that we wrote, this PHP code. We'll just take this entire div, in fact, this image gallery div, copy it, and then I'm going to go into single, and then I'm going to add it wherever I want to show it, but probably in the same place, which is right above the entry content div. So I'm just pasting that whole div just right into that single. Now when I go back and I click on it, it should take me to that one post just with those images, and the Lightbox should work.
So where do you put it into?
Single, and then you have to decide where to put it, but I put it above the div entry content class.
So how did you decide that?
Because it was in the same, it's arbitrary, but it's just the same place that I had it in this index. So since it's working one place, you should just be able to copy it and paste it, and then it should show up. Is it not working?
No.
Okay.
Change something else.
You changed something else?
Yeah, and my stuff just aligns over. I don't have like a single page anymore, or like individual pages.
Those are, yeah, those are.
But this got moved over. I don't know why that happened.
That's a CSS issue.
The change happened right just now.
Yeah, go back. Actually, this will be useful. Just click on JTerm, the title, go back to your root URL. We'll see if it's that way for all of them. So the problem is we have identified that it's just single.
Mm-hmm.
So go back to your text file of single. And I'm guessing that it's outside of container. Let's undo. And let's add it. Let's try adding it over here. Oh, and this is the problem. So when you copied it, you didn't copy the closing div.
Okay.
So add a closing, yeah.
It just happened to work for the other one. I don't think I had one.
let's take a look. 'Cause you should. It should be that you would have done the same thing. So save that.
Or is that
Sure. So I'll bring from this in.
I don't know why this is repeating either. Like I got rid of the post that like manually uploaded.
Let's go to your dashboard and go to that post. And go to your the image gallery there. Yes. It shows you have 4 images. So if you go to gallery, if you hit show, you can edit the image. Wait, cancel that one. You can scroll down. You can hit delete. Yeah. So that's why you just had uploaded it multiple times.
I'm having a problem too. For some reason, the Lightbox works,
Yeah.
but for some reason, it doesn't work for both images. Like it works for these, but somehow this one is not opening.
Can you right click on the that image and then go to inspect element and bring this window up. Okay, so it's not wrapped in. It's not wrapped in a link. So go back to your. First of all, we'll go to your dashboard and navigate to that post. We'll edit that post. You can close that. So this is why. So this image is in there. It'll only the Lightbox will only work with the images that we've uploaded to the post. So go ahead and delete that, and then go click on your image gallery there, and click on the image gallery tab when it comes up. So it's there. So go ahead and. You don't need. Do you need all 3 of those?
No.
So go ahead and why don't we delete those real
I'll
quick?
do them.
So click on show next to them. Then there's that delete there down at the bottom. So let's go back out to your JTerm site. Yeah. Now hit refresh. It's odd that it's only showing 1 anyway, because there were 4 images with it. Oh, go back to your dashboard. We need to update. Press update. Forgot to save the changes. Okay, so we're only getting 1. Does this one only have 1 image?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I see your code on your index.php? Can I
Yes.
I can show you how to do that.
can just do it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah,
'Cause I
that'll
feel like
that'll
other
come with
people
the
wanna know.
that'll come with the image resizes, auto image resizes that I'll show you how to use.
Okay, yeah.
Because it'll be able to crop it automatically or not. And it has a lot of options. So let's try.
Oh yeah. Mine got messed up for like a second, and then
I'm on the main page, and then because if I have a small one, it's missing too.
I just need to get one of these guys.
Okay.
It's just frustrating.
For some reason these changes don't seem to be saving.
What? Also, I really prefer it. Yeah, when it works.
Yeah, for some reason, also the CSS
it's
doesn't.
like also
doesn't
really
say-
great because
like when I
there's like
change.
one
Mhm.
right answer.
So I think that we're actually editing the wrong file. Is that possible? So I just made this change. This is something I'll show you. Where's the dashboard?
No, she was just looking at the
If I go to Appearance, and Editor, I can actually edit the files through this. It's not. I don't recommend it, but this is. Yeah, so this is hard coded in.
Yeah, they made it before us, actually. Ours is the better one.
What are you talking about?
The snowman.
So we need to find.
No, ours is bigger.
This for some reason is not synced up. I'm gonna close this one.
It has 4 balls.
I mean, if I close all of these.
Like the snow
And then-
is like not really sticky.
Okay, so it is in
It took us
www.
forever to get the balls to be.
Oh, really? It wasn't fluffy?
The top
It got
was
all
really
icy?
fluffy. No, I mean last night. I don't know. The bottom was like wet, but then the top was too fluffy.
Yeah, so there's.
No, it's
It was not sticky snow.
Yeah, so I don't know why that is. I should
I
have.
was surprised how big it was.
Yeah.
no, because this one is inside WAMP.
Can you see pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
and
saw it in real life.
So for WAMP users, I think that it's you have to have your local host all the files that you're going to be using your theme with.
yeah.
and WordPress have to live in your www folder, which lives inside of WAMP.
Okay, so this whole thing. So the whole JTerm file should be inside WAMP.
Yeah, so let's let's do is open up another Explorer window and navigate to your WAMP.
I really thought it was
www.
It's pretty small.
Now, go to your WP content things,
Go look at it.
and then just delete that
I don't
folder,
know how I
that
missed
Ultra
it.
LW,
Look how
and then
Come on,
copy
she
in that
doesn't
other
think
one
she
that
doesn't
you
get-
had,
Maybe the bottom.
it's like
and paste it into that one.
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Alright, now let's try reloading that page.
I'm surprised that
Thanks. We're getting
I'm surprised
somewhere
that
now.
thing stayed.
So line, it's giving us problem on line 31
The dome? It's a dome.
on
Yeah,
index.
extremely sturdy.
It's also cardboard.
Is it cardboard?
Oh, it's
wood. Yeah. Are super
Get your
sad.
facts straight.
So we can stick that.
I remember that. That's fine.
I like that though.
This looks so cute. I said,
This is
look
still
happy.
31.
Looks a little
For
forced.
Mike. Yeah. Mike's just making a weird face. He always does that.
Mike was a little bit like a hoop.
Oh,
As in horn hearsay.
there we
Yeah.
go. So now try.
Or the Hulu. Both?
The brand.
They're the same.
Are they the same?
family? Yeah.
So that's all it was, is you were editing
Yes, I
the.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
wrong
They're the
one.
same.
wrong file.
Genus.
Okay.
Same Dr. Seuss. The same.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no
Sure.
Got a
problem.
real quick
Sure.
question. So these little
I
dots
did
are
not have a
popping
very
up
successful
on my
month in my
links.
house.
Okay.
How do I clean that up?
Let's see.
And I did install that thing earlier because it pushed my bar
Okay.
from 2010, so I don't know if that's what it is.
Okay. This, first of all, just so you see that this ULLI is missing a closing tag. So just the curly brace. And that's not the problem, but. Let me change the way these links look. Let's see if that fixes it. So I don't want. Do you want these to be outlined?
No.
Okay. So the way you do that is I'm just going to say every image. So I just choose the image selector. Border. None.
That's what happened earlier with the other video.
And so now I think that border was probably just something. Now I want to make sure that it's not trying to give you a phantom image that is trying to load something that's not there. Because that's sometimes what it is. It's like a 0 pixel image. Nope. I think that's all it was.
Alright, cool.
I'm not gonna have.
I'm gonna try tonight to figure out how to just have one image for the gallery and it pops up in the white boxes all.
Yeah, that's you should be able to figure that one out.
Yeah. That's my goal.
Yeah, that's a good.
I just want to have, like a random arrangement, and then when you click on it, it just pops up and you go through this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see.
Yeah, do that, and I can help you tomorrow if something doesn't work
Okay.
out. And also, we're gonna go over the like automatic image resizing and like gallery too. That will just like cycle through them. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
The one thing only worked once I used double quotes. Is that like
Which one?
the light box only?
Mhm.
Like it wasn't working for a while, but then when I changed it to double,
On the outside of the light box.
yeah, is that a common thing or is it with this only where it does? Should we, like,
It
only-
shouldn't matter. The only thing that might matter is if they weren't balanced correctly. I think. I could be wrong because it looks like it's giving me problems too.
Like, is there one that's just a standard, or do people just use them interchangeably?
People have their own preferences. You save that. No, it's working. So the problem probably is when you have this is really nitpicky in the way that language works. So I have here, I'm using these single quotes, right, for the outsides, and then I'm also using single quotes for the ones that I just want to print with the /. But if I wanted, I can use a double quote without the / in front of it, and because it's different from the outside quotes. So So I think that's probably what it was. You probably had a single quote like that,
Yeah, that's what I had.
and when you add that back in,
Okay, then it'll fix.
that will fix it.
Okay.
So it's basically it's preference, but you just have to understand how it works.
So it's doing it backwards. If I click on it, and it brings me to the 150 size thing, and then when I click on the 150 thing, it
Okay.
gives me the white box.
So we have go back to your first one.
But and the ones below this are something else. But these guys are. These guys give the
Those guys
white
work.
box, but they don't. But it's not like I don't have 14 images in my gallery, but not. And then there's nothing.
Okay, so go to the top one. Very top. This would okay. So let's go to your dashboard, and then go to that. Navigate to that page. So the first problem here is that this image is in your visual editor. Go ahead and delete that. And then hit update. Actually, before we even do that, hit the gallery. Let's go to the gallery. Yeah. And then galleries, there are 2 images.
So.
Okay.
Okay, so is this what matters? This is what it's scrolling through?
Yes. So
Okay.
that's what it's looking for.
Okay.
And
So
I-
so the things that when we were doing that thing with like show and then insert into post, what is that for?
that's if you want to manually do it. So the way that
Okay.
I showed you now with this little piece of code
Yeah.
does it all automatically.
Oh, okay.
And I need to edit it so it makes so it'll give you the option to leave certain images out,
Okay, so
which I thought I
the
did.
insert gallery thing is what we're supposed to do?
No, just leave it alone. So just close that box, and hit update. So right now you've got nothing in this editor window. You don't have images, you don't have text. That's fine. But you do have 2 images loaded in the gallery.
So if I wanted it to not show, because now it's going to show both those images here, right? If I wanted, can we go over to how to just show one so we can do that box thing? You know, like as in that I don't want it to be like on my front page with all my images in there. I just
Yeah.
want it to be one.
No, it's not showing any. Okay, go back to your code. Let's see your code. So here's one problem. These aren't balanced correctly. So this one, just for ease, is going to be like that, I think. Do you ever like the Windows button? The Windows button, when how the command is like instead of press, I always press that. You know when you press the command button when you're in the PC site, how it brings up the window? That's
Oh yeah.
turns into the window. Do you feel like that?
Uh,
So I always press it instead of control.
yeah, but that's because you're a Mac user. I would never do that.
You would never do that? Okay. Must be easy. Oh man, nothing happened. Okay. See, these are, I mean, it's really confusing. Like, I've been doing this for how long, and it's really hard for me to catch. do classes start?
24th, yeah.
24th? Okay.
Next Monday, like
Wait.
Monday after the next one.
Okay. Maybe we should have like a follow-up like a week later too. You know, it's after J term. I don't know if your schedule's out here. I think that would be good. I'll be done with helping people build models too, which that'll be nice.
When is that thesis? It's like the 18th or
It's
something.
Tuesday, next to this, in 4 or 5 days. Let's do this. Wait, is it actually working?
I mean, you saw there are two images in there in the gallery.
So it's working now? Are we sure we're editing the correct file? That's the real question. So this should pop up no matter what. If I hit save.
Like for studio workspaces, they say like the 640 should be the maximum dimension.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like having a dimension that's 1200 seems huge.
It is big, but I mean, the reason why I recommend having, I usually do like 1,000 to 1,200, and we'll be using this thing called Tim Thumb, which will automatically resize the image to whatever we want it to be.
Yeah.
And that allows us in the future to make bigger or smaller versions without having to re-upload new sizes. So if you're working from a larger image, you can go smaller, but you can't go bigger from a smaller image. So that's the reason why. But if they're large, if they're too large, or if they're like larger than a megabyte a piece, then you'll start running into problems because Tim Thumb starts to choke up and can't do everything. So let me just write this down.
Some of the classes ready, like that new entry content.
Yeah, I think so. And the div won't make the difference. just try. That should, in theory, do. It's gonna be tough. Let's do one step at a time. Okay, the images are showing up right now. They're not linked, but you know the info. So this is good.
That's good.
So that's step one. So that one's right. Now we just need to add the link. So a intranet.
What does the GUID stand for?
How would they call it? Basically, just it's the link. I don't know what UID stands for. I want to link it to the. So we have a link. There we go. So now it's showing us that it has 17 images, which looks about right.
But that's for all of them.
That's for all of them. So that's not. I mean, that's not what we want, but it's correct for what we're expecting right now. So now we need to just tell it, okay, we want to limit it to just the ones in that post. So I'm going to add the square brackets right after like that. All right. So that'll make it unique to the post search and just limit it. why these little buttons aren't showing up. So normally it shows up where it is. But it acts like it thinks they're there. No. Not that I know of. It could be. Let me do this. I'm going to go to. I'm just going to take all these styles. These are saved, right? These are saved. Looks like we loaded it. So delete it. Let's go down to that. No, it has nothing to do with CSS. I would try just removing it and reinstalling the plugin. Where are you? Is it in the www folder, your localhost? Do you have Chrome or any other browser? You got. You have to have Explorer, right? Chrome is enormous. It's not done. It's Firefox. I have no idea why that is.
I like knowing that I can change photos.
Yeah, I'll show that. I knew that was available, but I forgot about that. So I'll totally get to it. Okay. I don't know why that is. That is actually really bizarre. Normally, if one's gonna crap out, it's gonna be Explorer.
Yeah. I have a bunch of plugins, so I'm going to do one of my plugins.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no
Sorry,
problem.
that was such a toughie.
It's alright.
Just one small thing. Can you remind me how to get rid of the everything appears twice?
You go back to your dashboard, and you have to go and edit your post. So are there doubles in here?
I don't think so.
There actually probably will be with this. So that image right there, right? That's on in there is that icon image,
exactly.
right? And you want them to show up. So go ahead and close that and delete this from the visual editor. And just hit update now. And let's go back to your page and then reload it. And what should happen is this one should disappear, and then it shows these two. So what you need to do is just go to each individual blog post and delete it from the visual editor, because we're automatically displaying those posts.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, no problem.